Hi Stampers, this is Marie Bennett at blackberriesandcream.net, and today I'm going to show you this little Kleenex box that holds those little individual size Kleenex packages that I made with my friend Debbie yesterday. We spent some time playing with paper, and this is one of the things we made. And so I'm going to show you how to make it, and maybe this might be something you'd want to consider making for the upcoming Valentine's parties at school. This project needs a little more skill than the last video I did, so this is something that if you're a parent, you may want to have a little bit of this work done ahead of time if you want your child to make these Valentines. So let's go ahead and get started. To make this project, I'm using a stamp set from the annual catalog called Hello Life. And I'm using these two stamps, the one that has love and the one that has just the little heart. This is a really nice stamp set, very versatile for things besides Valentine's. And I'm using the Melon Mambo Stampin' ink pad. I'm using some paper from the new designer series paper stack called Love Blossoms. I don't know if you can see the name, but it's called Love Blossoms. It's a little 6 by 6 inch stack of designer series paper that has is double-sided. And I'm using a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock. This cardstock has been cut to 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. And then I need some scraps to make the belly band. So this is just a piece of pink pirouette that I think is like 1 inch wide, and I cut it to 8 1/2 inches long. And I'm going to be using the scrap to make the label for the box. And then a piece of the leftover designer series paper. So that's the basic paper supplies and ink that we'll need for this project. So the first thing we're going to do is take this piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, and on the long side we're first going to score it at, get my cutting blade out of the way, score it at 1/2 inch. So I'm measuring 1/2 inch to the right of the scoring groove. Then I'm going to turn it around and score it at 3 inches, and then at 4 inches, oops, and at 6 1/2 inches, and at 7 1/2 inches. And that's all the scoring we're going to need to do. So I'm going to take the belly band off and show you what the inside looks like, so you can see that it's a little box and it has like a back to it, so it would sit on your desk like this, with this edge coming up. And each panel that you can see has a piece of designer series paper on it, and in addition, this panel where the Kleenex pops through is punched so that you can just pull the Kleenex out of the hole. Before we do the next step, I wanted to show you how the Kleenex really functions in this project. So on the main part of the cardstock, on the Melon Mambo cardstock, I have cut a groove using the word window punch, and then I've cut a larger oval using the large oval punch in the designer series paper that is decorating the top of this box. And then this word window punch, that's where the Kleenex will come out. So in order to make that word window punch, I need to fold on this 1/2 inch scoring line to get this tab out of my way. Otherwise, the word window punch won't get in there far enough to cut the groove where we want it. I've made a template using the large oval so I can see where that hole is going to go on the designer series paper. And then I'm just going to take my word window punch and center it in that hole like that. These are not exact. They're not going to all be, perfect. They're just close. Alright, then using a piece of the designer series paper and my large oval punch, I'm going to use this template once again and punch a hole right where that one is. I'm having trouble punching. I need to eat more Wheaties, I guess. Alright, so this is going to be the top of the box where the tab is. That's where it attaches to the back of the box. So what we need to do now is use your bone folder and burnish these. Give them a good crisp fold so the box will be square at the corners. Okay, so now I can also see all of my spaces, and that helps me with centering my designer series papers. Now I want the flower side up. You could have this filigree type design up if you want, but I want a little more contrast, so I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to use a mono liquid glue, Tombow glue. Doesn't take much of this Tombow glue. It's a good sticky glue. What I like about using the glue when I'm trying to center this is it gives me some time to get the paper right where I want it to be. So that looks good. Next piece I'm going to put on is this front edge. So I'm going to just turn the camera off, and I'm going to stick all of these pieces on just the way I did this piece right here with glue. Alright, so when I get all of the designer series paper glued on, this is what it looks like. The panel next to the first short tab is where you punch the hole. Then this will be the front of the box. This next panel, that's the bottom of the box, so you don't put anything on there. This is the back of the box. This is the back of the outside of the card that's on top when it's closed. And then the inside panel that sticks up when the box is open also has some designer series paper. This paper has been cut to 2 1/4 inches by 4. Alright, so the basic box is done. I'm going to put some tear tape right on this tab that we use to close the box. There. Well, the only thing left to do with this box, besides put it together, is decorate it. So I'm leaving this panel plain because the person who's using this box won't be looking at it. That's the back of the box. And it will be decorated with the belly band when you put the belly band on. So the only panel I really decorate is the inside front panel. And as you can see, what I've done is taken a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I have cut this piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is really just a scrap. It's 4 1/4 inches long and 1/2 inch wide. And I'm going to stamp using Melon Mambo and the stamp that has the heart right there. And I'm just going to put that right here. There. And while I'm stamping, I'm going to stamp another piece of Whisper White that's the same width, 1/2 inch wide, and it doesn't really matter how long, because I'm going to punch it out with the open window, the word window punch. I'm going to stamp that again. Be a little more careful with my placing because I need enough room above and below the word love to punch it. There. Alright, that's all the stamping we do for this project. And so I'm going to take my word window punch and I want the word love toward the end of this little window. Right there. Okay, so that's done. Now this first piece that I stamped the heart on, this goes on the inside of the box, and it's going to go from edge to edge because it's wider than the designer series paper. So I want to put some Tombow glue on that. Okay, so this is going to go on the side that doesn't have the designer series paper on the outside. So edge to edge. That's good. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is get a button ready to put on the inside. And the first time I did this, I used a blue button. I didn't really like the way that looks, so this time I'm using, I think it's probably Raspberry Ripple. It's from the Brights collection of buttons, which I see today went on special in the weekly deal. So if you go to the Stampin' Up! Website or follow the link below my video and choose weekly deals, you can get a discounted price on this package of Brights buttons. So I'm going to thread a piece of silver 1/8 inch silver ribbon through this button, and I do that by taking my paper snips, and I'm just going to cut the very end of this ribbon at a sharp angle so that I've got a narrow point to put through the hole. And I'm going to thread it through from the top, and I think this ribbon is about 9 inches long. Okay, so I'm going to thread it through the hole. Just a little bit of it pokes out the other side, but that's all I need to grab onto and pull it through. And then I'm going to thread it back through the hole. Okay. So now I've got the silver ribbon threaded through, and I'm just going to tie a bow. Pull the ends till I get the bow looking the way I want it to look, and then trim the tails. Okay. Now I'm going to use a glue dot on the back of this button, and then I'm just going to turn it over and use some of this silver thread. I'm just going to put a little wisp of silver thread behind this button, just kind of making little loops, just to give it a little sparkle. No right or wrong. Put the loops wherever you want them. And for this, I think I had about 14 inches of this silver thread. And then one more glue dot. Come on. And then stick this button right here at the end of this little squiggly line. And that really is all the decorating. Nope, it isn't all the decorating. On this little edge right here, which is the front edge of the box, I'm going to put the love greeting that I just punched out. Now, the last thing I need to do as far as this box is concerned is pull the backing off of the tear tape, and then I'm going to line this edge up with this edge. My Yorkie's not happy because she's got other plans for me right now. There we go. Alright, so the box basically is finished. Now what we need to do is put some Kleenex in there. And the Kleenex packages that you buy now have a little tear thing here where you pull it up and then the Kleenex pops up, and then you would just bring it up through that hole. I'm not going to pop the Kleenex up. I just want to put it in there, and then whoever I give this to can pop it up themselves. Alright, the last thing to do is make the belly band and the label. The belly band is very simple. This is a piece of pink pirouette, I think. It's a scrap out of my scrap box. And it's 1 inch wide by 8.5 inches long. And I want the where the belly band is connected to be on the bottom. So I'm just going to fold it over so that it's mostly snug but not really, really tight, because you want to be able to slip this belly band on and off the box. Alright, and then I'm going to give the edges a little pinch so I can see where things join up. And on this end of the tab that goes on bottom, I'm going to put some more tear tape. Her name is Gracie, if you can hear her talking. And Gracie loves to talk. Mostly she loves to boss me around. If you have a Yorkie, you know what I'm talking about. Oops. Alright, so the belly band is done. And now I need to make the label that goes on the belly band. And to make this label, I'm going to use a little scrap, whoops, wrong punch, a scrap piece of the pink pirouette, and I'm just going to punch out using my word window punch, just a small little label. And then I'm just going to take an ink pen. I'm just going to write to and from on the label. And I want to be sure to leave just a little space at the end because I'm going to be punching there. Okay. Now I need to use my 1/8 inch handheld punch, circle punch. Right here. And I'm just going to punch a hole through. This is the oval that I was left with when I punched the oval out of the Designer Series paper. Yeah. When I punched out this oval, I was left with this. And so I'm using that to make the label. So I'm just going to punch a hole right there. And then I'm going to use a piece of silver, I'm not sure what they call it, silver braided coil or something. And I'm going to fish that through the hole. Put the belly band back on the box. That's why you don't want it too tight, because you want to be able to slide it on and off the box. And then I'm going to just attach my label to the belly band by tying a bow. Okay, so there you have it. Little Valentine Kleenex box. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll give this project a try. I think it'd be a really nice little Valentine office, co-worker office gift, or teacher gift. Just something inexpensive and simple that lets the person that you made this for know that you are thinking about them. So thanks for watching, and happy stampin'. Bye.